Good evening, Starbase. Sorry, I'm just in the middle of breakfast. Welcome to Expanded. We've got Jake on today. G'day, Jake.
Hey everyone, hope you're all doing really well, and yeah, looking forward to getting into this.
And Event Dudes is with us as well. G'day, Event Dudes.
Hey, good day. Hope we're all doing good.
Good day. Nearly got it. G'day. And yeah, Matt's on the pushing the buttons and turning the knobs. G'day, Matt.
Hello, hello. I'm here and ready to roll.
Okay, so we all calmed down from the flight on Friday. Saturday, what day was I can't remember what day it was now.
Friday.
Yeah, 22nd.
22nd, yeah, because it was Saturday for me.
Yeah, don't forget they couldn't do anything over the weekend, and obviously Monday because it was the Memorial Day holiday.
Yeah, I see crews starting to work on, what are they up to today? They're on the top of the tower and they're on the OLM. So that's good. The chopsticks are still right up. What's your take on that, Jake?
In my opinion, I don't think we've really seen enough yet. I think the part of the reason why they've just been up there left like that for so long is probably because there just hasn't been that much work being done at the launch site until today, between today and the launch. And I think SpaceX is just being extra cautious right now, not wanting to move anything until they've fully inspected everything. I mean, we're probably going to see that with most of this pad. Because I'm sure, yeah, some people have probably noticed as well, they have started putting up scaffolding all over the launch mount again. Yeah, there's probably going to be some seriously in-depth inspection work now following that launch, just to see how everything actually held up.
So just scaffolding on the, sorry, I haven't had a look this morning. Just scaffolding like as a fence around the top of the top plate or down in the trench as well?
It's all around the top plate, and it's probably going down in the middle there, between the arms as well. There has been some man lifts seen down in the flame trench, so I don't think they should need to put any scaffolding up down there. I think they can do most of the inspection work from the man lifts, but I think for the OLM arms and the clamps and all that kind of stuff, I think they need to actually have scaffolding set up to be able to properly inspect all that.
So a few more posts have come out from.
Do we just lose your audio, Stephanie? I can see your mouse moving around.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I might have just forgot to push the talk button. Looks like 3 boosters and 3 ships.
That one's not flying till December.
Yeah, we got the Alaska Space. G'day, Alaska Space. Oh, it's actually from Boca Chica. I mean, Starbase too. Okay, yeah, this was something I. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's loud. Something I hadn't noticed before is the roll they did on landing. There's they did a big roll program on landing on the vertical sense of rolling. We talk about with the rockets. So I don't know whether it was. I kind of thought it kind of looked like someone said, "Give me a go on that controller. I'm going to try and do this manually." Like it's like trying to balance a hammer on your hand, sort of thing. What else is SpaceX? Sorry.
I saw a lot of speculation that they did that on purpose to be able to inspect the ship before it hit the water. And
the thrust vectoring going, man, so down on one engine. Yeah, well, actually, it only started rolling when at one engine. You notice that? Well, it's on two. Oh, no, it's starting to roll on two engines. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite torn about what to think about this. I'm leaning mostly towards that role being intentional, that they actually started that on purpose. But that's obviously, what I will say though, is this is not something we wouldn't see a role like this when it comes to catching the ships. I don't think that's going to be part of the whole catch sequence. And I have seen, people suggest that they probably did it with this flight to inspect the heat shield. And I've also seen people suggest that maybe it's to test the limits of things, to go down to the one engine and see if they can actually cancel the roll.
Okay.
But I'd say we don't really know for absolute certain whether this was intentional or not. But my gut feeling is sort of leaning more towards it being intentional.
Yeah, a couple things on that. One, we know for a fact that they're not using a joystick, which would be awesome, but they're not doing that, obviously. But two, this has to be pre-programmed in. So this is going to be a pre-programmed in idea, and they've done this 6, 7 times now, and we've not seen this particular style of roll going on. We also saw earlier, albeit RCS, they did the roll for the cameras, which we haven't got the video of yet, or at least the whole thing, anyways. So they seem to be doing the roll, and then again on launch they decided to do a massive, whatever it was, 270 290 degree roll. So they're really into rolling this launch, and it seemed like the only reason you would be doing that is to be inspecting, and or I guess you can just be showboating, but I would think it's the first, not the latter.
I kind of think I'm wondering whether they're advancing their avionics software and actually starting to actually trial a few things, actually try some maneuvering. Now, on that roll, there's just one other thought just entered my mind is perhaps one of the engine's thrust vectoring's not working properly. It's trying to see it's leaning this way. It's trying to correct the tilt, and in so doing, thrust vectoring the engine that could work. And I can't see the RCS activating either. So that one engine thrust vectoring to correct the tilt, I would imagine could induce a roll. Although the other engine did vector just before it shut down. So now it's sort of vertical. And now it's continuing to roll just out of momentum. I still don't see any thrust vectoring. So the roll was initiated with thrust vectoring, I think. But I can't see any, what do you call it?
RCS.
RCS, sorry. I said, yeah, RCS. So I can't see any RCS activating.
Well, I mean, the RCS and the sort of RCS SpaceX is using there at that sort of level, I don't think it's going to really do much. I know Blue Origin with their New Glenn first stage, I know they use RCS when it comes to landing, but that's like extremely powerful RCS. So yeah, I wouldn't have thought starships would make much of a difference at that level. And that's another little thing that I've seen people talk about with that role, or some people have been theorizing that maybe the ship was planning to do the role, thinking it was still using 3 engines down to 2 and then down to 1. But I'd like to think that SpaceX would have been able to update the flight software as they would before they got to this point. I would like to have thought they had enough time to do that. I just find that kind of hard to believe that by this point the flight computer was still thinking it had 3 engines to use still.
I thought they planned to do 2 engines in one, wasn't it? Or was it 3 engines in one?
The original plan per the SpaceX website was 3 down to 2, then down to 1. But of course, they seem to have lost use of one of those sea-level engines somewhere in flight, and so I think they then updated the software to go from 2 to 1. So I know on the stream they say down 2 to 1, but yeah, the website said something different.
Yeah, the original plan was 3, just like all of the other ones had been. But they, during the flight, they, for whatever reason, they knew that they were going to do 2. So my guess is, based on how that software would work, is they just uplink a code saying, hey, you're not going to be doing the deorbit burn or the in-orbit burn, and you're not going to be doing 3-engine, you're going to be a 2-engine landing. So it's got to be pre-programmed. They're not just hot fixing it, I wouldn't think, in the 20 minutes or 30 minutes they have.
Now we do
Yeah, I
know
mean-
there was a big software update on Ship 15, remember, so that it because all those suborbital flights were to do the flip on 3 and land on 1, but they added code, so if they had an engine failure, like Ship 10 did, if they had an engine failure, the code would automatically switch over to a 2-engine flip and a 2-engine landing, because there was still, with a 2-engine flip, there's still a bit of excessive vertical velocity. Maybe the new engines, they can cancel it all better with just 2 engines now. I think you're right about dudes with the code about the not doing the backburn, the engine relight in space. But I think the software does this bit down here automatically. If the 3rd engine didn't start, it knows to go to 2 engines straight away, and keep them on longer so they can wash off the vertical velocity.
Yes, but my point was that they, during the stream, said explicitly they were going to do 2, not 3, as a change, like whatever it was, 40 minutes in. So they knew about it. So that my surmising here was that they uploaded that to the, so it knew it wasn't even going to attempt to do 3.
Yeah, fair enough. So this is a prediction. So this is sort of the flight path. I'm not sure how accurate if this is actually the flight path of the ship. I noticed on some of the data analysis that when the ship gets in the atmosphere and starts flying around with some forward velocity, it was actually able to actually create some lift and almost like stop its descent for a little bit, at least shallow the descent right out before it put its nose back down again. Sort of like a wingsuit, base jumper, how they can, with a bit of excessive velocity, they can actually gain altitude, just only for a short amount of time, obviously. Like just before they pull their chute, sometimes they'll actually gain a little bit of altitude.
Yeah, this is derived 2 ways. One, it's plotted on a, if you will, just the same way you'd plot a satellite imagery, and you kind of lay over the ship of where it's supposed to be based off of, where you can see cloud formations. And then secondarily, you have the telemetry of the ship. You know the speed and the altitude, so then you can plot all 3 points and then kind of map it to wherever you want to, in however you want to orient it. Yeah, so that could come into basically any orientation. But the idea being, we in theory would know what direction it's supposed to be coming in, because it is, if it's doing 1 orbit, we would know which way it's supposed to come into, then be able to change and get back to being able to be landed.
So on one orbit, it ends up being which direction? It ends up being more west, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this is something that's interesting, and we'll see what they do for future flights and what their eventual original temp's going to be. If it's probably not going to be 1 orbit, so then it's a matter of which way are they going to come in to be able to hit this, correction to be able to then attempt a landing in the Gulf or wherever they're going.
So this turn might have to be from this side around this way. So and it's so 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. So that's 1.5 times 15 degrees longitude. It comes across latitude. Longitude. It comes across. I think's right, isn't it? 15 degrees per hour. The Earth rotates.
Believe so. Yeah.
360 divided by 240 by 24. Now you've got me second guessing myself.
The Earth spins at roughly 1,000 miles per hour.
15's correct.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. This was interesting too. This little post from Elon. So it's just a bit of technical sort of Details. So the reusability definitely reduces dollars per tonne to orbit. Polaris rocket biased towards high thrust weight as propellant costs dominate. Propellant costs dominate. I thought the rocket did. Maybe I read that wrong. Who do you reply to? Oh, yeah.
Well, this is the idea of being reusable. So in a reusable function, then the thing that's going to cost the most is the propellant because you're reusing the ship. And what he's basically going on about, and this is kind of an IPO talk, is this idea that even in its current state with what we've demonstrated as booster being able to be caught, albeit not this one, that even at that particular state, you're still way, way down on the whole how much money you're spending per ton.
Yeah. I like that line. I'm just looking for new space. I suppose I should just go through SpaceX, shouldn't I?
Yeah, they have a good video of a different version of the same thing we just saw before, so it gives a good orientation of how it's doing its little pirouette thing. You just passed it. It's top. It's the buoy, green buoy, top. Right. Well, that's an image.
Yeah, that right there, the way the plumes just splay out like that suddenly, that's just what makes me want to think that was an intentional roll. Like, it didn't seem like a sort of uncontrolled thing from what I see, but I mean, I could be wrong.
It definitely kicks out. It kicks out of that one spot just there. There, it really
Like,
kicks the roll in there.
I mean, it wasn't like they had both engines going and one of them just happened to kick out. They both kick out in opposite directions, which that's how you induce the roll on the vehicle.
Oh, that's the point of the engine. Back to engine one. But yeah, let's say induce rolls here, just vectoring opposite or three in the, all around in a circle a little bit. But yeah. Oh, that was a Starlink post. Cool. Yeah. Hey, Starlink did a good job there. Absolutely. Considering it's only using their little remote dishes and are moving around a whole heap, and I still managed to get some live views through, which is pretty good. My Starlink works really good. I've never had it drop out in a storm or anything. It just always works. It doesn't
Yeah,
ever
I've got to
slow.
say these little buoy setups, they seem to have worked quite well so far. They're and I mean, yeah, look at Starlink, the views we managed to get now doing re-entry. I mean, a long time ago, we probably never could have even dreamt of having views like that during re-entry, and now it just seems to have just become totally the norm when it comes to the Starship flights now.
Yeah, certainly not live, for sure. We did have some shuttle stuff way after the fact, but yeah, these live views are amazing.
I'd love to see them.
Go on.
I'd love to see be able to use Starlink on other, the capsules, but yeah, unfortunately they're too small, I think, for Starlink to be able to work properly on those during re-entry.
I'm not sure it's the first time or not, but I did notice no dropouts this time either during the whole flight. With the video, didn't stop even once. I remember early launches there'd be long dropouts in Starlink, but not this time in the video. I mean,
I think there was one point during re-entry where it was starting to look a bit like it was close to dropping, but yeah, I'd say it definitely did a lot better this time.
They dropped packets and frames. We're missing, or at least it looks like we're missing like T plus 105 to 108, which is annoying because if you're trying to do data plots, then you have missing data. But I don't know if they were using a backend server, so therefore it wasn't going to quote unquote drop out. It was just going to kind of have a frame and then half the frame, and so you wouldn't necessarily notice it. But yeah, for sure, it looks smooth. Great imagery too. Great colors we saw on reentry as well, with the interaction of what looked like RCS in the plasma stream.
Colours, yeah, the whole way through. Yeah, it looked more blue. Everything looked more blue this time too. And whether they had their blue turned up or it was just the different style cameras, better cameras or what. But yeah.
Yeah, something about that, especially on the I don't know what you would call it. I guess sunset. You can the sunset was bright red on the planet, which I don't remember noticing. And then you saw that other shot you were showing there. You had the bright red. Yeah, that you can see it between the plumes as well. It's like they turned red up to 9,000 or something like that.
And what's going on with the dome here? Are they buckling or is that just the shape of those tiles? Is it tiles?
What we're seeing there is the aft dome with that's the shielding on the aft dome. Obviously before flight it was all just flat sheets of steel there. I think as the temperature changes it'll shrink, and I think that's resulting in what we see now. I think Nick was saying there's a thin layer of insulation behind that steel shielding as well, and it's pretty much the same thing going on with the ship skirt also. Because I know I've seen some people saying there was damage to the ship skirt, which is not the case. There was damage to the shielding on the skirt. And it brings, and whilst we're on this, that you can see how the damage to that skirt shielding seems to be around at least two of the RVACs. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same thing going on next to the third one behind the sea levels there. I think, I don't think that's a case of things haven't been sealed up quite right there. I think that's a case of they need to change it to a bit more of a robust material in those areas. Because to me, that looks like there's actual meltings going on there, possibly.
So at this point, was it this engine? Is this the same view that this was the engine that failed?
This is the opposite view.
Yeah.
So the engine, in theory, would be the one you can't see, which is interesting.
Okay.
At 116, I want to say 117. I forget the number. So.
Yeah, it was 1 something from what I remember off the top of my head.
It was 115 or 1 something again. 112.
Yeah, well, it was an RVAC, not a sea level.
Yeah. Yeah. We can see, the frosting on the throats here. That's interesting to see that on the engines when they're running. The other shots showed it even more dramatically. The in-flight video.
I just just double checked as well, and it is 116. It was the RVAC that had the issues.
I always enjoy watching the booster tumble away. It must be long. We must be further into flight by now. You can see the booster tumbling away in flight.
So something that was weird, and it was pointed out, I forget the guy who pointed it out, it's almost as though on separation you could see earlier in the video the rising of what appears to be the plume or something in the what has to be upper atmosphere, and it keeps rising in the video. It's sort of strange, which I thought was kind of interesting. I hadn't had time. I was going to look and see if it happened in the other flights, but it was an intriguing little nugget there. Hadn't seen before.
Are you referring to the shadow of the plume in the water?
No, I don't think so. If we go back to the video, I know that would be a stretch, but when they finally go back to the ship view, you can see it rising out of the stratosphere, and it keeps rising. So I don't know if it's a reflection or what it is, but it's an interesting thing. I haven't gone correlated yet.
Hang on, I'll bring the video up. Sorry, I should have done this earlier.
No, you're fine. It was something completely random. I just noticed it. I hadn't cross-referenced it yet to see if it's just a reflection or if it's something that shows up before as well. So.
How did you predict the future? Starships are meant to.
It's the full video.
I think the question in hand is, should we be doing this live on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's after the separation. They went to the ship view. What's going on? Oh, is this
Not
the
full
scrub?
video. Ah.
If you get a lot
That's
of
just their entry video.
it tells you that we're pretty much
Oh, Westwood. Actually, oh, never mind. I was going to say, as soon as we were, briefly touching on the buoys earlier, there was got a good look there of the camera setup on them that actually captured the landing in the Indian Ocean.
to account for the one engine.
Well, good to know that somebody. It's actually right there. You can see it below. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, all good.
And starting to see
It's spinning. It'd have to be before this, I think.
RVAX. Now we are standing by.
Yeah, right there next to the fin, you can see the white. It's really small. In the black, and you can kind of reverse it. And it goes through all the way down. So I don't know what that is. I haven't cross-referenced it. I thought it was interesting if it is something.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
Oh my goodness! You don't need things like that.
I say, what's with the way it's rippling?
Yeah, if you scroll the video back, it's still there. It's interesting. I haven't really figured it out yet. And they change camera angles too, so if it goes to the other one, yeah,
it's not still a booster, is it? No, it's way too high
No,
for
no,
a
no.
booster.
Yeah, let it play from there, Stephanie.
And it looks like the booster ended its mission there in the Gulf, but we've got a ship still flying. Great to see that. Still have 5 out of 6 engines there.
So where's the coast roughly? Is the coast actually in sight here? Is that actually the coast there?
Yeah, that'd be it there. I would have thought.
So is that just the ascent plume from the booster? Where's 30,000 feet? Is that about 30,000 feet? It's about 28 to 36,000 feet ish. And it's like basically contrail, like a jet airliner. Oh look, it's still got an engine running on the booster.
Yeah, it tried to do the whole landing thing, which is why I'm thinking they did better than they thought they did, considering what had happened.
We also heard good chamber pressures as well.
I mean, yeah, if we were looking at V1 vehicles, where B9 had that issue with boost back. If this is V1 vehicles, I think B19 would have gone the same way as B9.
See, right here, at the top left of the frame, I'm wondering if it's just that, to be fair. But the problem is, it's on the other camera angle as well, so...
That's just
that
glare,
moves in a
I
very
think.
weird... Yeah, that's...
Huh. I think you're saying that.
That's what I'm thinking. The actual plume is rising up, and it's a reflection, or it's something like that. But I don't know. It's one of the two.
Part of it is that the ship is moving away from that point and is becoming lower on the horizon. So the appearance of that plume further and further away looks like it's higher. Some of it, I think, is optics.
Yeah, the bottom of that plume, let's just pick a number, say is 5,000 square feet, where the top of that plume on the upper left is 10,000 square feet, or 10,000 feet.
That'd be from roughly 28 to 36,000 feet. The same altitude you get contrails on a jet.
Yeah, it's just as the other picture that we were looking at where it was looked like it was rising. I think it may have to do just with the distance of these pulling away and the curvature of the Earth and everything.
You're saying yes, curved. So and also by physics too, that thing. So that's sitting in an air mass that would have to move for the wherever it is. It's up here, isn't it? But that's its is that its shadow? Or is that the actual thing? Maybe that's the actual thing. It wouldn't move vertically at all. The atmosphere doesn't do that. The whole atmosphere would have.
Further away from the further away from it you move, the higher it's going to appear in the sky as you're pulling away from it in relationship to the Earth and the atmosphere.
Yeah, it appears to be. That's right. Yeah.
It's just visually, it's not actually happening. It's not actually rising.
There you go. Successful. Seen as many booster engines lit on for a splashdown, but it has shut essentially head into the boost back shutdown. Again,
so when the engine shuts down here, people say it changed attitude. The ship changed attitude because of the engine out. But I don't believe that. I believe so. It was already changing attitude. So I was saying it changed attitude. Well, it actually did, didn't it? But they were saying it changed attitude to create some lift. But there's no atmosphere up here to create any lift on attitude. It's lifted its nose up. It'll or down. Which way did it?
So it thrusted, based on the data, it thrusted, let's just say downward, even though that's not a thing. But in order to get to where it needed to go, it increased its speed longer. So therefore, it thrusted down, and therefore you would get the actual orbit-ish that it wanted to get to.
I think it just took us.
Yeah, that was the other thing they did as well, is they just burned the engines for a little bit longer than they originally intended to.
Yeah, I don't think they had to change the flight path. One thing that did what it might be is, you got to remember, this is 1,000. This is like 1,500 tons worth of mass here by now. Still, maybe 1,200 tons. So it might have just taken a second for the thrust vectoring to pick up the asymmetric thrust, because straight away that's a fairly off-center thrust, but because of the distance the bar back is from the center, it's got a lot of torque, and the sea levels are fairly central. So it might have just been, because it does correct. You notice it actually corrects it. It just takes half a second to correct it.
Do we know that they didn't gimbal those sea levels over to try and make up for the lost hour back?
They would have had to. See, it takes a second, but it recovers. See, and now it's back on the way it was already pitching over. Oh yeah, the sea levels would have certainly 100% have been vectored over to control that asymmetric thrust. That's fairly off center, that thrust. It'd be like the center of thrust to be not a great deal, I suppose, just a bit over, I guess. Maybe it wouldn't be all the way over here, but it might be enough, maybe in the center of that engine. But it seemed to just to correct it. I don't think it has to adjust its flight path. It just needs to extend its burn to come up with a delta V. It may have had to pitch up a little bit, maybe, because of the lack of acceleration, because acceleration is slightly down, I guess, maybe. But I saw one of the videos from one of the content creators said they changed attitude to create a bit of extra lift, but I don't believe rockets do that. Some people believe that rockets have a slightly positive angle of attack while they're going through the atmosphere to get some lift off their body, but I don't believe that. I believe they do it purely through direction, the direction applies rather than any kind of aerodynamic lift. They're not in the atmosphere for long enough to even worry about that theory. But that's my opinion. I'm not a rocket scientist. Just an armchair engineer. But yeah, ship done. Ship did an amazing job, recovering and getting back on a nominal orbit.
5 minutes
And booster was just fantastic the way it recovered
Continuing to
on the
fire
grid pins.
5 of the 6.
And mind you,
I
this
mean,
was
yeah,
payload.
I'd love to have seen the in-space relight test, but I think this is also a very good demonstration of the engine out capability. I think this is really showed it very well.
And that would have been a scenario that would have had to be programmed. Ooh, maybe that needed to be programmed in. I mean, they're gonna once, as we saw before, the ship started changing attitude. Well, the thrust vectoring would automatically correct for that anyway. It's not where it's supposed to be, so the thrust vectoring would put it back where it's supposed to be. One theory about the booster is it lost tank pressure. Now, what a thing that displays a lack of tank pressure would be the cold thrusters not working anymore. If the cold thrusters were working, you would imagine that they could have recovered, got attitude control back, flight control back for the booster before it hit the atmosphere. But there seems to be a lack of thrust RCS on the booster as well. So, I mean, and the fact that the grid pins caught it in the atmosphere was just amazing. I'm not even sure if that was programmed in or not either, or it just maybe maybe at the moment it's trying to recover with valves opening and shutting and to no avail until it hits the atmosphere, and the grid pins are like, yeah, I can do it now. Up we go. Because once it hits the atmosphere, like straight away it gains positive flight control again. Like right now, as soon as you tell it's as soon as these started vibrating in the atmosphere, straight away it got flight control. I wasn't going to spend this much time on the flight, and we've got any questions in chat to direct us otherwise? Are they happy listening to this in chat?
Well, we do have one question from a Mark Smith. He asks, how does everyone feel about Raptor reliability? Can fine-tuning SW help flight, or does Raptor reliability need to get better?
It's I think it's a little bit too early to say with Raptor 3. I say we see how the next flight goes, but because this may just be teething issues of just first time actually flying Raptor 3.
It might not be a Raptor issue. It might just be a vehicle issue, eh, Jake?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards at the moment. From what I could see in that engine bay, I could be totally wrong, but I think it was an issue with the connection between the RVAC and the aft dome. I said I could be totally wrong, but from what we see of that leaking down into the engine bay, I think something came loose at the top of that engine. As for the sea level engine, I have no idea why they disabled that for the rest of the flight. And then for the booster, I'm leaning towards a slosh issue, but I'm open to it being something else entirely. I'm hoping it's not a slosh issue. That's because that would really suck to see that something like that coming up again.
Isn't that what that little side tank was supposed to be for? So that they didn't have those issues?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm still not 100% what to think of the booster. I'm still kind of on the fence about a few things.
Do we know the exact procedurally at what point in flight they pull from what specific tank? Like when do they start pulling from the radially mounted landing tank for locks and etc.
Some people will say that the LOX landing tank can be used to the boost back as well, but I'm not 100% sure.
I would think main tank.
I mean, after finding out that they'd use all 33 engines for part of the boost back burn, I'll be surprised if they could use that landing tank for that as well.
In fact, is the landing tank even hooked up to all 33?
No, it's only hooked up to 10.
I didn't think so. So, yeah, no. I figure it's got to be main tanks for boost back.
Okay. I'll turn my TV down.
Are you getting yelled at again?
Yep.
So I actually am curious if they are going to try to attempt at some point for whatever capabilities is to make landing burn also 33 or 20 some or whatever they come up with as a number.
I wouldn't have thought so. I'm not sure there is a case for that being needed up in flight.
Yeah, I think they're
Also-
going slow enough at that point. So
Yeah, as well as just the extra, I don't know how much of an increase it would be, but with the extra nitrogen needed for the spin up, as well as it's already such a high stress
They
on the
don't
vehicle
use-
accelerating like that.
Yeah, they don't. From what we know, they don't use nitrogen for spin up. It's all
Oh,
gaseous
oxygen?
methane and gaseous oxygen.
Oh, they're using oxygen now. I thought I heard that the other day. But still, the other part is I think stresses against the vehicle. 33 engines with it being that light for landing burn, that would scare me. But
I believe the idea is it's COPVs. It's just the COPVs are not filled with nitrogen. They're filled
okay,
with.
so it is still COPVs, but it's with
I believe so.
Oh, that's interesting.
Autogen doesn't have pressure.
Because that was the big thing people were wondering about for a while, is why is there so many COPVs on these boosters now? And that's why, because they planned out like all 33 engines for boost back.
Though part of it is
super heavy
Good.
kind of beat its mark down to the ocean. Kind of got there way early. Keep going, Soapbook.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and I think part of the increase in the COPVs is also because lighting the outer 20 for liftoff is also part of its responsibility with the lack of the Raptor QDs on pad 2.
Oh, so that other camera was over this side behind here somewhere. Oh, maybe that camera we were looking at earlier that hid that.
Yeah,
engine.
there's about 4 or 5 cameras, I think, down in the engine bay there I've seen. And this also shows that the gas flowing around that RVAC as well.
Yeah.
Since
I don't think that's any sort of purging from the Arctic space. I think that is just something's come loose at the top of the power head.
The first time I thought I saw the whole thing about the almost like a can mounted to the inside of the aft dome for the upper part of the Raptor vacuum pumps. I've always since then I've been scared. I feel like that'd just be so susceptible to some sort of leak. So, not shocked if that's the case.
I mean, that was obviously something that was radically changed with the V3, is how these RVACs are mounted up inside those little cavities. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was an issue with the connections there.
Yeah, up there, yeah, for sure. Because they're all that new recess, yeah. It's lucky they didn't damage the LOX tank, I guess. So here's another pitch up and a dog leg at the same time. It's changing direction too. It's doing what's that one? It'd be it's because it's on its side. It's more of a yaw, isn't it, to pitch its nose up, and it's also changing direction using pitch because it's flying knife edge. So rudder's elevator and elevator's rudder. But so it's changing direction too.
Yeah, I think I can't remember where the ship actually was in this point in flight in relation to Earth, but I think we were expecting to see a bit of a dog leg at one point as it was going through the Caribbean through there.
And again, it did another dog leg, and again, just before CK.
If we look at the different notices that way now, all added up to get the trajectory, you could see there was slight direction changes as they were going through that part of the US.
Flying around an island. So CK, so now she's all coasting. So now we should get some rolling happening, etc. Man, amazing view. So that's down the Caribbean, yeah, down in parts of the Caribbean territory.
think so. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
So Cuba, that's maybe Cuba down there, and maybe not South America. Maybe that's going through that. Where is it going through? Anyways, I could bring up Google Earth. Since I'm getting so good at it, apparently.
You're getting better.
I'm
for
curious.
sure.
I'm curious for you guys. I was just looking at the footage. I didn't realize until a second ago that you could actually see the engine shutdown pretty visible of the RVAC. That looked like looked like a hard shutdown for me. To me, it literally rattled the whole vehicle when it shut down the RVAC.
Yeah, it was a violent engine shutdown, yeah.
That was definitely not a controlled shutdown. Like they saw data and they commanded a shutdown. That looked rough.
Looking Patreon on Stephanie, there's the path that they were taking
Thank you.
to the islands there.
And now that I've noticed that, I'm glad it did not knock out any of the other engines, and it wasn't more explosive or more violent than it was.
Okay, so maybe it was here we're seeing Seco, or maybe it was here we're seeing Seco. Okay. Is this Colombia or Venezuela up here? That's Cuba, isn't it?
Okay, Mexico.
Oh, that's still Mexico. Oh, cool. Of course.
Yeah, that's the
Sorry, of course
Yucatan
it
up
is, yeah.
there, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this is an airways map. I see. There's all the airways. Yep. We don't need that. Oh, so it wasn't Mexico. It was more like the islands. So it was more like over here on Seco.
Yeah, if you look at that, you can see there is a ever so slight dog leg in there.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Well, that was about what happened. It kicked that way, then it kicked back. Yeah.
To stay between the islands is what they're doing.
Yeah, through here probably. Yeah. Is this Alaska? Is this different airspace? These numbers, or is that something to do with the actual flight of the ship?
It without. That's different phases of the flight, is what it looks like to me.
So B1, A4, that's not airspace numbers, is it? B2? Like Alpha airspace, Bravo airspace, is that a thing?
Well, you're going through several countries here, so for them all to be the same would be mystifying to me. It looks more to me like different phases of the flight.
Cool. Thank you.
Just like when you listen to the Dragon capsule, they go through all those different phases where if something happens now, we divert differently. I think it's that kind of thing.
So now we're coasting in space. We can take on any attitude we like. We can have a good attitude. We can have a poor attitude. It's all up to your own self.
I think they're standing it up for the Starlinks.
Yeah. I know there's just more. Go on.
I was going to say that was them depressurizing the payload bay ahead of the payload deploy, but no, is that? I'm trying to remember now.
So I've got an answer on all those letters and numbers in the red area.
Cool.
Yeah, AHA stands for Aircraft Hazard Area. The zone designators, such as A1, C3, B2, all that, those are identifiers for the specific blocks or subsectors of the hazard area. And then the four-letter codes, like MMER and MMFR, that designates Mexican airspace regions. MUFH designates Havana, Cuba. MWR or MWCR is Cayman Islands, and MKJK is Kingston, aka Jamaica.
So they had to go to each one of those countries and sort it out.
Yep. So like if you were to do AHA A4 MUFH, tells them that this is the area block A4 and it's located within the Havana, Cuba air traffic control jurisdiction.
It seems to vent for a long time to vent the payload bay, but I suppose it's a fairly large cubic capacity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, so yeah, thanks for that, Matt. That's very quite an interesting bit of info there.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
I'll post it up in Patreon Lounge if anybody wants to read.
I appreciate people doing those sort of things in the background because I don't really get time to do them while I'm doing everything else. I don't even get time to read my DMs when people are yelling at me.
Of course, yeah. This is the big change. One of the big changes with the V3 V8 ships is the way they vent the payload bay like that. Previously, I think it used to be one outlet on the leeward side of the ship. Now it's two separate outlets, basically almost on the on the halfway line between the leeward side and the windward side. And yeah, go back a little bit. That's an interesting little thing I've seen people debating about. The RCS outlets from the methane tank. A lot of people have noticed that the venting's quite blue. I'm just curious if you guys know what the deal with that is. Curious to see what you guys have got to say about it.
The only theory was that it was methane, but I haven't correlated how or why it would be blue per se, other than the camera lens shading it that way.
Well, like we said before, they seem to have turned blue and red up to, what do you say, 9,000? Yeah.
9,000 at least.
Because we get another good angle, I think, when they show the third person view of the ship as one of the last the two satellites exiting the bay, and you can see the venting then from a different angle, and it's still very blue.
Like even the yellows are bright, the gold, the color, they've turned the colors right up. I mean, and the clarity is amazing. You can see I start to see the door open in the background. Like this is what, 8K or 4K? Did they say 8K or 4K they're streaming this video?
I want to say 4K.
I mean, you can check it. I think it's 4K. I don't think they had 8K. If you hit the little sprocket, it tells you. Yeah, if you click on it, it would have another option of 8K, which I don't think they have that option yet. I think they were talking, I had to go listen again. I think they were talking about they had the ability or they were doing that on the back end or something.
Why was I having that at what? I wasn't even on 2K. What?
No,
auto
4K.
Probably. Yeah, I'm thinking some of the engineering comms probably do record in 8K, so they can see what's going on in there in a lot more detail. But they probably just not went in to put out that full quality for us to see, because we don't need to see some of this stuff in as much detail as they do.
Well, and like they said too, well, actually, I know Tesla specifically said it, but SpaceX is the same. Their competitors will take and look at every single frame of all their videos, so I guess the slightly less information they can give them, the better.
Plus limited bandwidth, so you can only, I mean, the higher the quality, you can only transmit so much through Starlink, especially across 50 some odd cameras. If you're streaming all of those at 8K or even like a few of them, that's all your bandwidth.
I just realised as well, we never. I don't know whether they got the footage and saving it for something else, but we never actually saw any footage of the when they started scanning the heat shield.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier about the whole rotation thing. We didn't get the video yet of the rotation of the ship. I am curious, considering that last frame was a partial frame, we could see the white bars on it of the video they gave us. I'm curious if they didn't get it or not. I hope they do, but maybe they're not giving it to us for other reasons.
I'm curious how they implement this sort of thing on future ships, because the whole scanning the heat shield thing, it's, is there going to be like little CubeSats they deploy from somewhere else? So, like, because obviously with the Starlink ships, you can all, use Starlinks to scan, but what do you do with other variants, like the tanker variants and the crew variants? What do you use on those?
Yeah. What is your take on this? Because I haven't quite figured this out. It's almost like they're trying to do shuttle stuff, but there's no crew, or at least I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where they're going to pop out a Starlink to scan the shield so that a crew can then pop out and replace a tile or something like that. So I'm not quite understanding, other than from the data gathering for right now for flight tests to figure out what's missing and what's not. I don't understand the premise of this in the future.
It's not 100% sure what to make of it yet. I'd love to see a little SpaceX's own version of like a Canadarm that folds out somewhere in the ship, but you can't really do that with all the variants.
Some of that with their explanation of what that was all about and painting the tiles white was for the cameras to be able to identify the missing tiles, to build a program that could do that, not necessarily how they were going to get the video later on.
Yeah, but for what purpose, though? I may have been missing the high idea of later on they're not going to be doing this. I don't assume that with CubeSats or anything else. I'm not sure what the premise is.
Well, when you start putting people in it and you're going to return to land, they want to scan those tiles before they do that. And so they want to start working on the program for that now.
So you're going to have an EVA contingency of the people that are in the crew that are going to pop out of the whatever bay to fix a tile?
I think they're just trying to figure out what tiles make it through what sections of the flight at this point. That's 10 years down the line, crew flight.
There's the other thing. There's another way they can go about scanning the heat shields as well, and that's when you get ships docking with the depots in orbit, so they can put cameras on those, and when the ships are either approaching them or leaving them, they can just spin the ships and scan the heat shield that way.
And maybe by the time they get crew flights, the tiles will be, reliable enough, because they can successfully land a ship with many tiles missing. Well, they have, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's doing the roll program here in the light. You can see the light changes as it rolls. So go ahead, Jack.
And it probably will be easy enough to be able to have a CubeSat or two deploy from any variant in the future, Starship variant in the future. I mean, look at how damn big this vehicle is. When you look at the size of some of these CubeSats, you can easily fit a dispenser in there somewhere. Because you'll have, on the future ships, you'll have the various pods housing the solar panels, the radiators, the antenna dishes that they plan to use in some of the other variants. You can probably somehow integrate CubeSat dispensers in one of those somewhere, I reckon.
Oh, so is this a dropout? Is this a dropout here? Is that a dropout? I didn't notice.
When they drop out, they normally go to the other screen, the rotating ship with the heat shield. That's normally the dropouts. Although this does look like that it may have been close to an actual dropout there.
It's got the right orientation too. The ship's facing that way. They didn't release the in-flight video, the sat video, till a bit later, did they?
Yeah, it wasn't an instant thing, and they did give us a little bit of warning about that beforehand as well, but they didn't expect it to be instantly transmitted.
Some really good views inside the ship. I'm sure the 3D modelers will love this.
Yeah, I got to say it was kind of surreal seeing a third-person view of Starship in space for the first time.
There's the top thing of the Pez dispenser that we saw in the other video up in the side camera.
Yeah, and I didn't realize as well until SpaceX actually told us that they'd have spotlights on these satellites as well. I was thinking it was going to be maybe like night vision or something like that to scan the ship, but yeah, it was kind of neat seeing the actual spotlights on them.
I'm assuming they have IR on one of the sensors.
Yeah, I'd say they've got. Yeah, they wouldn't just have a visual light sensor. Yeah, can see the downcomers. I think from the header tanks.
Yeah, the two transfer tubes. It's the and you can see how they're heavily insulated in some kind of foil as well. And we have seen, I think it was in a Tesla You Fly video, where there was one point in the video they were looking straight up inside of a nose cone, and you could see the methane header tank was insulated in a lot of foil material as well. But I think they've been doing that since the V2 ships, I think, on the actual header tanks themselves.
Right up close and personal. Look at all the oxidizing.
Yeah. When it's zoomed out a bit more, Stephanie, look at the top right of the ship. You'll see what I'm talking about, the methane RCS outlets venting. You'll see how blue they appear from this angle as well.
Looks like they've almost looks like there's an actual sensor in there rather than a dummy, but I couldn't imagine them having a sensor in there yet.
I'd say it's all in there. I mean, the whole mechanism's inside of that housing. You can see down inside the. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a sensor in there as well.
What an amazing view, right up close and personal. Doors shutting. Nice and frosty still. So there's probably there shouldn't be any methane, or at least very minimal methane in that tank now. Ideally, it would be empty. I guess the tankers, will end up having a bit of fuel still in them.
Well, you could see during the landing burn, right as the ship was hitting the ocean, you could see there was actually still frost on the LOX tank as well.
Oh, you mean there?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether that's because look, there's a lot of blues, so I'm not sure. I mean, that white does look white, so yeah, maybe.
Well, that other angle we had earlier, there was the payload bay venting, and that was just pure white venting coming out of that. So it's definitely a blue tint to that. The methane the tank venting.
While we've got a second, just want to say thank you to Martin for 3 separate £2 donations and a £3 donation. We appreciate you, Martin.
Thanks, Martin. Somewhere in here we get some Starlink re-entry. I'm not sure where exactly. And that was before 50. So we're now out in the Indian Ocean properly. Okay, gee, it's a long re-entry distance. The Indian Ocean's quite wide.
Yeah, just a little bit further down, and you'll be getting your landings in Australia.
Yeah, I was checking out the ocean currents, see whether any tiles would wash up on the Western Australian coast. Oh, there they go. And they probably would. There is a current that heads towards Australia from out there, but there's a couple above and below that go away from Australia. So I'm not sure whether they. Lucky they might get onto the Australian coast. That's only about 4,000 kilometres away from me, though. Still. So RCS thrusting here and there, is that what you... Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So all that right now, you think that's all that's still RCS thrusting now?
Ullage
Not all of that.
The different colored stuff.
Okay.
You'll see it in spurts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in spurts, yeah. So how high are we? 68. Twinkle, twinkle, little starlinks.
I've said it quite about re-entry quite a few times now. It looks so beautiful, but it's so violent.
That time when violence looks beautiful, that's okay. Yeah, and here in blue, it's like in the past, re-entry's always been about reds and oranges and other colours. It's like they haven't. People are saying that the tile chemistry or the tile recipe is different now. Maybe that has something to do with it, but I'm not sure about that.
Would the daylight condition, the day-night conditions have anything to do with it as well, or not really? Or has this been the exact same conditions as the previous flights?
It appears we're under control from the control services because they're starting to move them.
I think that was just a test, if I recall correctly.
Little test, okay, yeah, little wiggle.
Well, to see if they can do a force test at that high up kind of thing.
And of course, yeah, the one thing you will start seeing during this re-entry as well is how I think it's the plasma starts wrapping around the back of the aft flaps, which will be exactly why SpaceX added the ablative material over some of the aft flap attachment hardware. you can see, yeah, when with the landing footage, you tell exactly where the heat's wrapped around the back of the flaps.
I had to put streamer mode on, getting a few notifications through my computer.
I'm going to give a thank you to Baz Zegers for sending a $10 PayPal donation.
Cool, awesome. So the reds have been turned to yellows. So where are we? Not quite engine chill. What's going on back here now? Is that the blue of locks? Sort of engine chill locks?
Not sure.
Just a mere 19 odd thousand kilometres an hour, coming down to 18,000 odd kilometres an hour. 57. What's that? That's about 60 kilometres. Isn't that about 35 miles? I think. So this is RCS thrusting this bit of that. Or maybe that's a blading.
Yeah, I think that's ablation. The RCS is more or less puffs that you would see earlier. You could see it from the nozzles, and it should be more like midship or somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where things get exciting.
I have to say they seem to have done a very good job with the catch points in the V3 ships. It seemed to hold up very, very well.
Yeah, they don't even seem to get hot. Well, I can see a little bit on the face of it there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm interested about with the catch point TPS on the V3 ships. Because on the V2 ships, you noticed how the tiles were applied in a certain way to match the angle of attack during re-entry. But with the V3 ships, it seems to be, you don't really see that with the tiles on these catch points. It seems to be symmetrical on both sides. So I'm just curious, yeah, what the deal with that is.
Look, everything's in such good condition. You can even see the numbers still. Everything on the. Oh, so is it this? No, it's which ship? We got to look for that signature. It's ship 40, is it, or ship 41?
What do you mean? What?
Oh, there's a content creator signed one of the tiles on one of the ships there one day.
Oh, that was yeah, Mr. Beast. And we think that was one of ship 42's that forward flaps, possibly, because when he signed that flap, the other ships before 42 already had their forward flaps.
So what altitude was those turns, and when the altitude slowed right down? It must be still a bit lower than this. It must be like down sort of in the 20 miles, so. Where are we going? Where's Australia? We're over there somewhere. It'll be upside down. Well, I mean, it's upside down.
Kind of
anyway,
like you.
They kind of showed the whole flight upside down this time. I don't know if that was a normal thing or not, but yeah, they seemed to. Even from takeoff, you notice takeoff, everything was upside down too. They showed it in Australian perspective, but the ground was throwing me out. Even before the flight, they showed on the globe. They had the flight down the bottom of the globe, upside down. Oh, here we go. Nose up here. This might be where they arrested. Yeah, maybe where they arrested some of the vertical speed. Maybe. Wiggle, wiggle. Ooh, ooh. Still in hypersonics. Oh, it's still dropping a bit. So still nose right up. I think that attitude's still aero braking attitude. I don't think it appears to be beyond the critical angle attack. So it wouldn't be creating lift still, just creating a whole lot of drag. At some stage it should put its nose down, get back under the critical angle attack, and then it can start creating lift. Like it's starting to now, it's starting to drop its nose a bit. 32 kilometers, still hypersonic, starting to come back to supersonic. Sort of on the edge of hypersonic still. $30 kilometers. Bit of G-force going on, nearly 2 Gs. It's noticeable. Not quite as bad as in capsule, like 4 Gs.
I believe so.
Yeah, nose down now, so we're going to try flying now. So this is where we're starting to. This is one of the turns here. You can see changing direction here. It's actually. Does it do a full 180? It turns quite a way around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's still changing direction. We can see over here it's still changing direction. Now it's still changing direction. Now it's going to go the other way, is it? It's still changing direction a bit. It's come, I'm guessing it's only come sort of 90 degrees. So it's got its nose up fairly high now. It's almost in the plane of horizontal here. Oh, definitely subsonic now. I think its sea level sound is 1,007 kilometers an hour, which is a bit different at altitude. Let's come around a bit further again. It's changing direction again, maybe. I was hoping to see where it stopped altitude, but I haven't quite caught it yet. Nice and cloudy, coming into winter in the southern hemisphere down here. So it's back on its way on the sine wave. It's back on its way up, isn't it? By the time it gets up, it goes, you know what I mean, on the sine wave of the orbit, on the globe, on the map. I think it's back on its way up again. Okay, so I might have missed the lift part. Back to 1G-ish. And it appears we're turning again. Yeah, it appears we're turning again. Well, we are turning a lot to the left.
Yeah, this is where they made that like 70 to 80 degree turn.
Whoa. That's some pretty good control authority there, to be honest, for a tube.
That's what I was saying, too.
A fairly complex tube. Oh. I tapped the 0 key on my numpad then, which somehow put that all the way over there. So now they can do, since they can do such a big dogleg, they can do little course corrections now to guide it back into its final destination, which they like really nailed it. It must have been within a metre that they got the landing spot, like right in between the buoys and everything. Booyos, whatever you call them.
Yeah, I think there was one of the views where you could actually see two of the buoys. I think there's 4 out there they use for these landings. And it seemed to be quite centered between the two that we could see. So yeah, I think they got this landing pretty much almost spot on, I think.
It's a big flying squirrel. Yeah, rather.
I'm still not 100% sure yet exactly what sort of precision they hit him with the moment they'd be hit landing on the virtual chopsticks. I'd be curious to know how that's doing, but they seem to be definitely landing roughly where the virtual launch tower would be.
So aft flaps are folded, forward flaps are fully deployed, ready for the flip. 2-engine startup.
Yeah, of course, this was originally supposed to be 3 engines, but yeah, they have to disable one of the sea levels for whatever reason.
There's a couple of the boys there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about just now. You can see how close they came with them.
So if there was one on the other side, that'd really show. Like they were dead center of ones from here as well.
Yeah, they should be in a sort of square formation.
Maybe. Oh no, that's that one over there. There's those two. I was looking for one out here somewhere. This is just incredible.
Yeah, I'm still curious as to what's causing that line right down the middle in the heat shield. That there's like a much darker black line down the middle.
And it's all the way up in the,
Yeah.
Well, at least, it's through there as well. It kind of starts here somewhere. I can't see it up there, but yeah, it's all the way through, all the way down. I think it's too straight just to be like the center of, pressure or whatever you want to call it with the plasma. It's almost like it's a different set of tiles, to be honest. Which they could be doing. They could have a different set of tiles. And maybe that's the, version 8 tiles or something. There was a tile flew off during the landing, but I see some people posting. You could see something flying off.
There was actually a few that flew off during that.
And as Matt pointed out in the live stream, there was it looks like a methane CFPV doing a little across here. It's fairly spinning too.
You can see as well how much the tank was flattened as it hit the water.
A couple tiles fell off there, I noticed.
Oh, just here?
Yeah, just there.
You're right.
I think Alex explained that when there's a violent event like this, it actually crushes itself because of the gases coming out. Yeah, one or two.
As I say, it's that same failure mode that we've pretty much seen most times now when the ships have tipped over and hit the water like that, where the top pops off.
All right, so that's so we did another launch review.
Yeah, I was going to try and create a comparison between the V2 ship catch points and the V3 ship catch points, but struggling to find decent photos of the V2 ship catch points at the moment to So what I was talking about earlier was the way they've changed the tiling over them now.
So overall, I reckon it was a very successful flight. Yeah, so booster had a little bit of an issue, but I mean, I don't think that's going to be hard for them to sort out. Ship, yeah, a little bit of an issue. The ship did remarkably well. What they say, 4/5 of its mission was spot on.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for a little bit more. Obviously, because my thinking, has been for quite a while now that this V3 ship should be built on a lot of lessons learned with the previous generations. But I guess, yeah, with the first flight of this version, I guess there's always a big chance of stuff going the way it did. But I got a lot of confidence they'll get things figured out by the next flight.
So booster 20, it's fully stacked, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we've. Oh no, yeah, we have actually seen footage of it fully stacked in the bay. It's been stacked for about 26 days or 26 days now, I think. So it should be getting pretty damn close to being ready to roll out to masses for cryo testing. Of course, the cryo test stand does have to roll back from masses first before the booster can go on it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this time next week we see the booster out of masses.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see a slight delay in booster while they figure out what happened in booster 19, or whether they actually know. I mean, they're gonna have lots of sensors. They'll know if the tank pressure failed. They'll probably know why the tank pressure failed if that was what happened.
I mean, it all depends if it was a design issue that caused things to go the way they did, or if it was a procedural issue of some kind that caused the booster to fail. Yeah. But SpaceX works pretty damn fast at coming up with retrofits whenever they need to.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they ever knew something was up with the testing on 18.3, and I mean, to make this flight safe, all it really needed to happen was booster had to clear the tower, like Flight 1 again, and then basically get shipped to MECO. And maybe they knew something was up with the booster already in flew anyway. I mean, that's probably improbable. That's probably not a good way to say that.
I'd hope they were aiming for a bit more than that with a booster. At this point in time, I would like to think they'd be aiming for a bit more than that. I know it was the first flight of the V3 vehicles, but that, in my opinion, they're reaching a point in the Starship program now where things should be starting to be a lot more mature now.
Do you think booster relight on landing, do you think that was automatic? It was at the right altitude? Oh, it was definitely the wrong speed, though.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Well, no, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been an automatic thing because it wasn't. It was on a totally different trajectory.
Well, I'm just thinking. I mean, there's going to be variations in trajectory anyway because of weather. There's a wind blowing or whatever, so it's going to have some, allowance for error. But being that far out of error, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that was automatic. I mean, it was what? The targeted, I think, was it 20 kilometers or a bit more than that offshore compared to, was it like 300 and something kilometers offshore is where it hit in the end?
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time believing that the landing burn was started automatically.
So they would have to have some contingencies, and I don't know if it's built in yet. At some point, if they're going to ditch a booster, they would have to have a contingency of if booster boost back doesn't work, you would have to know it's going to land in this particular area. And I don't know why the programming wouldn't think, oh, well, okay, that didn't work, but we're still good because it's contingent and we know we can only max fly this far, so it's fine, and we can still try the landing burn.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say there's quite a bit of nominal contingency in the code, to be honest, by now.
I mean, to that effect, it certainly didn't say, "Oh, I didn't flip the right way," if that was supposed to happen, and just shut off all the engines. That's not what happened. It just is like, "Oh, okay, I'm in the wrong way. Let me just try to go this way." Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna blow up some engines and then not do that.
That is a very good point. Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah, it should be able to handle off nominal flip as well. So I was supposed to flip that way, but it sort of went this way. So that RVAC, I've heard people say that RVAC that started up might have started up, erroneously, and that's the off already had a bit of asymmetric thrust at startup, and that's what threw the booster off the wrong way, maybe.
Yeah, I'm curious what caused that timing issue there. I don't know, was it an issue with the engine itself, or is it they just didn't have the timing dialed in, or if there was something stopping the engine from firing up when it was supposed to? It's be interesting to see. Well, hopefully get some sort of statement from SpaceX at a later date.
Yeah, if you
by the
believe,
way,
good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you believe the interface, for sure the sea level started up before that third RVAC. So there is a concern about if that was actually offset, that it shot out the wrong way then.
Yeah, I'm just going to say there's a little bit of breaking news. They've started moving the chopsticks on the tower again.
Oh, good.
Because I know a lot of people have been wondering why they're still at the top of the tower all this time later.
I just figured they were immediately after launch looking at the SQD because that looked like it may have had some issues or maybe whatever else, and it was swung in, and it looked like that's what they concluded with, and they went to break, and the first thing they came back is did inspections today, and they've just now decided that's good enough, we'll lower them down.
Yeah, that's pretty much been my thoughts as well. It's just they haven't really wanted to move anything until they'll obviously come back from that break. And I know they moved the all-M arms and the BQDs pretty much immediately after launch, but I think with other stuff, yeah, slightly more sensitive stuff, I think they've just been extra careful. Because I'm sure the last thing they'd want is to start moving the chopsticks down the tower before the holiday started, and then find out things were not quite working then, and end up having to work on that over the weekend. What are you trying to find, Stephanie?
Oh, the flight again, but it doesn't matter. So at some stage, it flies knife edge while it's in atmosphere, and now it's out of atmosphere. It's rolled over to flying with heat shield up for stage step. I think they fly at knife edge through the atmosphere, so the pitch over manoeuvres while it's still in the atmosphere, so the flaps don't interact with the atmosphere when they're doing pitching over. Is my only guess as to why they do it knife edge down in the atmosphere. Then up here, they when they do stage step, they've got it heat shield to the sky, so the booster can flip down that way, flip up that way. That's all. All right, I guess that'll do for the flight. For now, I guess that's been an hour and a half we just spent on flight. That's good. What's the chat up to? What are they saying down in chat? Oops, sorry about that. The microphone's a bit loud there, probably. Is the FAA asking for an investigation?
They said, I think it was same day or day after the flight, they were saying they were still making a determination, and they haven't said anything since. So I don't think there is going to be an investigation. I think they're fine.
Yeah, in that statement, they said that it did not go outside of the actual hazard zone, which was one of the qualifiers. The only last qualifier would be if the plan that SpaceX submitted did not somehow conclude that they had a contingency of downrange and or something to that effect, then they could technically be in violation of that plan, and they could then go through a mishap. But I would think it's only going to be one of these PR kind of thing mishaps, not actually any sort of conclusion or needed mishaps.
Oh, we sent another satellite into space, I think, the other day. Somewhere, yeah, here. Swinburne University of Technology. That's a pretty big university in Australia. That's right, it docked onto the ISS. That's pretty cool. We're sending a rover too. Wow, I didn't know that. Lunar Sim. Oh, no, that's only a simulator. Okay, I won't go into that. It used to have the acronym ARSC, but they changed it. Okay, back on Earth. In America, of course, there'll be an investigation of some sort. I don't know, there've been, I think the authorities in America are being a little bit lenient on space companies at the moment because there's a bit of a push. The current administration's got a bit of a push on space exploration, which is one good thing.
Am I right in saying that there isn't exemptions for the super heavy boosters anymore, apart from it has to come down within the hazard zones? I know there used to be the exemptions for various failures.
I don't know about this current license like you're talking about. I know if it didn't complete it, it's fine. I guess from my point, it depends on the plan they submitted because that's all of what that exemption stuff was about anyways. So depending on the plan they decided to submit, if it didn't have a contingency of it being downrange or whatever, not doing the full boost back, I think that'd be where they're trying to get them at. But I can't see them prolonging the mishap all that long, even if they actually do one, which I'm not really thinking they're going to do one.
And besides, SpaceX themselves are just, even if the FAA doesn't ground Starship, SpaceX themselves will ground it until they've done their own little investigation. That's pretty much the same with any of the aerospace companies.
Well, remember, they're short of the U.S. now has a goal of going to the moon, and SpaceX is a big part of it, as well as the other rocket companies. So I think they're going to do everything they can to help them.
Yeah, I believe that's like I said before, I believe that's the agenda of the current administration with the space industry is to help the space industry. I don't know about especially SpaceX, but including SpaceX, to help get to the moon, because I think he's have a bit of a desire to get to the moon before China. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate or not, but I feel that's a thing that's happening.
That's very much a thing.
Very much a thing, okay, yeah. Which I personally think's kind of silly. I think that both countries are just as capable, and it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, to get to the moon alone is a big thing anyway, and then on get onto Mars and creating a base up there and everything. But I know people and companies and countries get competitive, and fair enough. No judgment. Just personally, I think it's a little bit silly.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised people aren't talking about Dear Moon with Tito and the Mars thing more. But I guess it's so far off. It's going to be more hype later on.
Well, didn't Dear Moon get canceled?
No, the plan is still there. Another person named Tito bought the second Dear Moon, if you will, and that was on the books and had been on the books. The original crew with Azawa did get canceled, but now the Tito one was announced along with, I I forget the guy's name that was in Fram 2. And what's his name?
Chun Satoshi, I think that's his surname.
Yeah, okay, that guy. And so I'm curious about that, and then why we're not talking about the whole crazy 2-year Mars thing. That's also, but I guess it's way so off. So
Yeah, I think Chun had actually been dropping little hints about that in over the past year or so on his X account. He'd been talking about, we could do this and we could do that with the Mars flyby, and I think he was mentioning it's probably going to be something like 2034. I think that's what he's said when he was just openly talking about an X. I don't know if SpaceX gave any actual time frame for it, which makes sense considering this is probably something that's going to be quite a while off still.
yeah, other than the Dear Moon mission or whatever you want to call it, Artemis 2 mission, whatever it is, will happen before the whole Mars mission thing. So
Yeah, I can't say I'm entirely surprised that Chan is going to try and do something like this. I think since that first the Fram 2 mission, I think he very much had the space bug where he's wanted to go back to space again, and yeah, be interesting to see what the timeline on this actually is in the end.
That'd be kind of cool. So, and I'm wondering, are they planning on like fully from Earth take off and land in Starship? Yeah.
I'm curious about that because it's 3 of them currently, and they could easily fit in a Dragon and do it. So I'm kind of wondering about that. It'd also expedite the idea, albeit you'd have to have enough Delta V to be able to not aero brake the Earth.
I'd like to think it's all fully in Starship from Earth and back and down to Earth. They're looking at 2034 for this. I'd like to think everything's hopefully where it needs to be with Starship by then. Although, yeah, who knows?
What's that? 8 years. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think why SpaceX themselves haven't actually given a time frame yet. Because we saw how that went when they gave a time frame for Dear Moon.
I'm wondering even if they'll just, like we speculate, just throw a ship at Mars even before that flight to Mars, with nobody on it. Just basically throw a ship at the planet.
I got to say though, there's going to be a hell of a mental test that mission, this new mission around Mars. I think was it going to be a 2-year-long trip almost, doing the full out there around Mars, come back. That's fair play to being the person volunteering to do that.
Who makes guitar picks? What? Hey, is this I'm just going to move on here a little bit. Is this water deluge? It's the same sort of pipe as water deluge pipe, is it? Oh, not.
Green pipe work isn't always used for water. Don't forget at the launch site they use green pipe for some of the high pressure gases as well.
All of the pipe used for the Alaska oil pipeline had that green coating on it. It's a coating that they can put on all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Also,
I think it's 3M. It's a coating by them, I think. Can't remember the exact name of it.
Cool. So it's probably not to do with SpaceX.
No, that's not their log or anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it is a storage lot, but it's not their storage lot. Yeah. Oh, they've still got transport. Oh, there's an actual semi truck. Oh, that's the prime mover for the. It's got the weights on the back for these SPMTs that aren't SPMTs.
AM25, I think.
That sounds about right. Okay, so Matt, we didn't get many around the area shots, did we? Matt's not with us for a second.
I'm here. I'm in between making food. Yeah, we got some, but not a lot. I did not see very much from Rio West and stuff like that. And what I did see was kind of covered in clouds. But we did get stuff from that lot. We have a little bit from Brown lot as well, and some shots of the highway and the school and stuff like that.
I don't have them for some reason. I didn't think I downloaded everything properly the other day.
It was curious. In this lot, they're doing a lift station, which makes me believe they're not just going to make this a temporary lot. It's going to be more permanent for them.
But also, yeah, before we move on any further, that green coating on the pipework, it's 3M Scotch Coat. I think is what it's called.
Cool.
So epoxy.
A lift station down here.
Yeah, they did the same thing at the launch site. So, curious what the premise here is, but it just tells me it's more permanent than just a kind of temporary holding station.
That would make sense. Yeah, I think that's definitely makes a lot of sense.
So they need power. Is it? So they can tap power up here.
They I don't know what they're going to do. They have the old line still below that. You can actually see them. The old 9 kilovolt, whatever they are, single phase.
Underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it commonly in Australia as well. Have the HV over the top and the medium voltage underneath. Every now and again you get a line drop, but it's not a good day. It happened once while I was an electrician, and streets worth of power boards literally blew themselves off the walls. It took a while to fix all that.
Also, the Pad 2 chopsticks, they're quite a bit of the way down the tower now. So that seems to be working okay. They did pause briefly, but yeah, they're still continuing to lower them. And they have moved them to saloon them to one side as well. So that seems to be working okay as well.
Which camera has that? I thought I got rid of that. Oops.
The NSF stream has the best one.
Yeah, see that most of the way down the tower now.
Cool. So they're actually moving?
Yeah. Yeah, they've managed to move them down, and they've managed to move them sideways as well. So yeah, I think it was literally just a case of waiting until today to start the inspection work on them, and now I guess they're happy to move them again after they finish that inspection work.
Cool.
Although I will say it does look like the launch did damage some of the electricals on the sticks, because at night time you can see some of the lights aren't still on top of the chopsticks. So I think there was some little bit of damage done there, but nothing major.
Cool. Let me just see what pictures I'm missing quickly. That whole folder. Okay, where did that folder go? All right, I will quickly do that. I might even load up Massey's or something to talk about in the meanwhile.
We can, when we get a chance, we can talk about the barge as well. That's come over from Florida.
Oh, yeah, off you go.
What happened to that thing? So it was coming along. It was like, oh, it's going to be here really, like, just a couple days after the launch. And then all of a sudden it's like, nah, just joking. I'm not going to be there for like several days. And I'm just going to sit out here and loiter for several days waiting for a spot to open, I guess.
Does seem to be that way, yeah. I think it was probably might take them a bit of time with the other. I'm hoping they've loaded horizontal transport hardware onto the barge in Florida, but yeah, it does look to be station keeping out near the fairly close to the entry into the Port Brownsville.
Supposed to be coming in tomorrow morning, isn't it?
Is that still the case, Sorrento's? I haven't looked at the arrival chart in a while.
It moved to noon, whatever that means.
Okay.
We'll know tonight at midnight what it moved to. But yeah, it was originally a couple days after launch, and then it was like, no, just joking. And it had moved all the way to, I think it was 9 a.m., and now it says noon, if I remember right.
Yeah, you watch. It'll end up coming in at some sort of time where there'll be no one out there to be able to actually watch it coming in. You just watch it go that direction.
Well, if the cover is shut, it's not a whole lot to see other than it just arriving. It's more about if they ever open those covers or if the door, whatever you want to call that thing, is open.
Yeah, that's what. Speaking of that cover, we'll get our actual first look at how that cover held up crossing over the Gulf and around part of the Atlantic as well.
It likely went through a few storms too, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, ETA 12 o'clock right now, although it still says it's departing today, so that's obviously needs to change.
Is that right? 3M's Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, is that right? Woodworker Dan? And yeah, it's good to see the sticks aren't stuck, that's for sure, Yazada. So it appears I have got some photos missing that I'm bringing up now. Okay, I can see a little bit in this photo. Oh, looks like they've finally got those last two tiny homes in on their way in.
Yeah, the one's been there for weeks now. And then they brought that second one in that's on the road right now. And then they still need one more to finish it all off.
1, 2, 3, you reckon? Oh, one the other way.
Yeah, there's one that way and then two on the other side.
Yep. Cool. Why does 2 minutes turn into 10 minutes when you're downloading stuff?
Is it Windows?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Before we go into anything else stuff needed, I put some screenshots in Patreon Lounge of where the barge is right now and how far away it is from the port. Because I figured people would probably want to see exactly where it is.
60 nautical miles off the coast. It's travelled, 1,200 nautical miles. 5 knots.
60 nautical miles to arrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I said. It's at the moment. It looks to be just station keeping. It's going around in the same area at the moment. I guess until it can actually come into the port.
Oh, so it's delayed 3 days. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. Now the ETA is 27th, yeah. Oh, your dates are backwards. I kept reading that as the 5th. I'm thinking, hang on, what? No, it's the 27th.
That's the format I pretty much always use now.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. I do it. I always have used that form for file management because it makes more sense with file management. Putting the year first, then the month. Yeah, like this. It's easy to file manage like that. Puts it in the right order. But yeah, we don't. Obviously, in Australia, we don't do that. We have. You too, don't you? You put the day first too, don't you? In Britain.
Yeah, day, month, year.
So we never had May the 4th because it's always the 4th of May. People keep saying that they've added more staircases, but they haven't. There's still only those 3. That was a couple of weeks ago, those 3 new landings arrived.
I think someone posted a video from the river the other day, and
Yeah,
you
Ezekiel
could
did,
see the
yeah.
stairs there.
Ezekiel.
Was there more? I haven't paid too. I'll be honest. I haven't paid too much attention to these stairs lately. Yeah, that was a most recent shot of the stairs.
I'm with you, Jake. As much as I love Massey's when they're doing stuff that's kind of boring, right? Or even if it's not watermarked, just make sure he gets his credit.
Yeah, I'm not
I've
sure
talked
how
about it
many.
multiple times.
I'm not sure how much content from the river we're going to be seeing now, because the guy that was doing most of the trips there, Travis, the one that was operating the boat, he's apparently gone to SpaceX now.
He had his own electric company. Travis?
Yeah, apparently he's gone to SpaceX. Also, yeah, Sean Geisler, he did an X post saying it seems, he was congratulating him for going to SpaceX.
I think he's an electrician by trade. He's got his own electric company.
Actually, no. Travis wasn't the one doing the boat tours, was he? Or was it someone else?
Travis used to go on the boat a lot. I think somebody else was running it.
Yeah, I think it is someone else. I can't remember the name of the person though.
Big D Adventures or something like that.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I'm totally misremembering just now.
Oh, never mind, you found it. I was just going to tell you I tagged you.
And like you say, I wrote the script for Massey's this week in our RGB update, and it's like, honestly, there's not much happened except that steel structure arrived. That's that truss structure. Sorry. Same as Sanchez, really. Actually, it was a bit hard to write. The person that wrote Sanchez had a bit of trouble finding stuff for Sanchez as well. There was a few things, but yeah.
Well, we may get another new thing to look at Massey's within the coming months, probably, because there's a new nose cone being worked on inside the Star Factory that has that extra hardware installed on the top of it. That looks to be stacked on a barrel now, and probably I think it's going to end up in the Super Crusher, I reckon, once the 18.3 is done in there.
It must be getting. Excuse me. It must be getting close to being finished with 18.3. You'd think. Although after this flight, they may do some more stuff now. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say they may now modify things in there with findings from the flight, and they could maybe do that same thing with the 18.1 as well. I reckon that's why they've been holding on to that thing for so long at Massey's.
What guesses are what's moving tonight?
Ship
I
40.
want to say ship. I want to say ship 40, but it's usually the one thing we don't guess that moves. It's usually how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't see anything going on in front of that to load up a ship.
So with
Yeah,
the
probably.
time, sorry, go
It'd
ahead.
probably be some random stand, or maybe they'll roll one of the Starfire test stand or the thrust sim stand over to Massey's by itself and put it over on the top corner again to do whatever.
Darth had mentioned the grid fin test.
I was wondering if they needed to come pick up
Yeah.
one of these tanks, if they need a stand for one of them.
Well, there's
You know,
already
Jay,
one stand there for all of those tanks.
the grid fin stand could kind of go across as a stand because we got one guy saying that his friend who works there says it's just a stand. But yeah, the grid fin tester could kind of, if you know you're not that's not your area, you might just say a stand.
The thing about S40 is it would be way out ahead of S39 as far as timeline. Not that they couldn't, but it seems kind of way early. Plus they had SCAF in the trench. I'm not sure they're done yet.
And there's a thing as well that we haven't actually seen any RBOX going into Megabay 2 for the ship. Although, to be honest, these days it's super easy to miss it with everything in the way with the Gigaway construction, and plus they may have moved some in there whilst we were looking at the launch site a lot for the launch preps on the launch itself, because we did actually manage to miss a whole section of B20 going into Megabay 1. So it's kind of easy to miss this stuff now. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Stephanie, if it's that exact Scotch coat that I linked there, but I think it's one of them that we see on the pipework.
Yeah. Heat curable. Thermo setting. So does that mean it has to be heated?
It probably
Prior
means
to-
it could be heat cured if required in your process.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I read it.
There's a lot of those epoxies, when you mix the two chemicals together to create it, creates a heat all of its own.
One part heat curable thermosetting epoxy.
This is almost powder coating.
Yeah, applied to preheated steel as a dry powder which melts and cures to a uniform blah blah blah. Okay. No primer. Cool. Yeah, it sounds like powder coating, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of that stuff that's been outside for 30 years and it hasn't rusted.
Very good. Yeah, so the update for masses, they move that. So I don't know. They have to move that grid fin thing now. I mean, I don't see why it can't be used in situ.
You probably don't have to move it, but if you've got a dedicated test site, then you might as well use it for that.
I mean, maybe there's they just moved the ram. Oh, hang on. Have they taken one of the rams off? There's two rams. Oh no, that's one of the mounted ones. I see. They moved that ram around the back. They still haven't mounted it. Maybe they used one of the hydraulic packs up one of the other cryo stands or something like that to actually, or the hydraulic power unit on the Super Crusher or something, because it doesn't seem to have a hydraulic power unit at all. So maybe they need to use this hydraulic system, or I mean, this has a hydraulic system on it. This has a hydraulic power unit on it. Maybe they need to use one of those power units. just for. But I mean, there's also. I'm sure there's around this. I'm sure there's. We've seen them. You know, a little hydraulic power unit. They can just literally wheel up to it and plug into it. I don't think that's also an issue. What's this too? What's that? And that. Look at curves and that on.
They've been sat there a while, and I still haven't been able to figure out exactly what they are. It's been bugging me for quite a while now.
Actually, I think maybe I already asked that question before. I think I'll undercoat my car with it. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess. One of the hosts, the television are audible. It was before. It's not audible now. It was actually my mobile. I watched the stream on my mobile phone. I didn't turn the volume down quite enough. I watched the chat on my phone here.
It was somebody else. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So I've got 3 computer screens open in my mobile phone to watch chat. And still I miss DMs on over here on Discord. Oh, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, downloads.
10 minutes up, yeah.
Just let me quickly unzip them.
While you're doing that, I'll take this question really quickly, since it just popped up. Are there always the gas wells at this 2 white circles? And yes, this is actually the Sanchez site, which was a Sanchez gas and oil, specifically natural gas. And the 2 circles you're seeing are new, technically speaking. And that happened during this whole new, I think it was called P5. They had to redo their license to keep this well active. I don't know why they're keeping it active, but they had kept it active. There was a whole lawsuit. There's a whole long strung out thing about it. And for some reason, they were going to buy Sanchez. They had the document. In fact, I have it and posted it. But they've never actually bought Sanchez for some reason, so it's still leased out through them, and they have purchased the wells and they own it through Lone Star Petroleum or something like that are operating those wells. But to my knowledge, they've never actually done anything with them, but they do own all of the mineral rights from the landowners around as well. So very, very odd why they're still there, but they technically are still active and they could use them if they wanted to.
Now, they originally intended to use them, correct? But they did not. They ended up not using them.
Yeah, if you recall way, way back, they used to actually have a gas electrical plant that they were technically going to use it with, but they just never did. And they then used that plant as a dual fuel plant with diesel, and then they got rid of that, and they now have megapacks with the backup diesel trailers.
So do we know the reason why they decided not to use them?
Well, it's, to be fair, it's low flow, so you'd only get maybe about 50 ton a day if you were to convert it to liquid, liquid natural gas, and you'd have to refine it. So I'm guessing partly that and partly regulatory. I'm not sure. They also, remember, they had the solar panels as well, which are supposedly coming back at some point. So.
Yeah, they had. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just, I remember less than what I should about it, but they had a company come in and do some kind of clean out of those wells several years ago. They were there for like 2 or 3 months and did stuff with them, had a big rigs hooked up to them.
Yeah, I remember the temporary flare stack that was active for a short while when they were doing that work.
And the well on the bottom right, actually the end of that well is over across the other side of Route 4 in the middle of that lake out there, or the pond.
Out there somewhere.
To the right and to upper right. So it's way up in that area, somewhere back in there.
Cool. Who was that? Nicholas. No worries, Nicholas. Ask any questions. Very dirty gas, apparently not economical to clean, says Andy. Well, any idea what those numerous similar items staged between the CH Paul well and the circles are? Yeah, they're where is that? They're bridge crane rails, I think is what you're looking at.
Yep.
I think that's what you're asking. Yeah, here, yeah, they're bridge crane rails. So event dudes, I didn't realise. So on top of this, I actually put a railway line for the bridge crane to run on. Yeah, I didn't actually realise that.
Yeah, that's the same with pretty much any bridge cranes like that.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't know that. Anyway, I learnt that yesterday when I was watching the weekend show catch up.
I was going to say, you can actually see rail sections on part of one of those in that photo, I think.
In here, maybe?
Yeah, the brown lines that run between the
Yeah,
two
maybe though. But
squares.
there's with the big pile go up. Sure, I saw a glimpse of one just now. Yeah, on the one on the left, they might have started putting.
Where's an angle shot? Hang on, try this angle shot.
I don't know. Maybe.
I couldn't find anything right about Massey, so I brought up the weekend live stream because I didn't watch it on the weekend because I was having well-deserved sleep. It was a busy week last week. It was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I was just very busy.
Oh, by the way, they look to be testing the LOX landing tag up Massey's right now.
Oh, cool.
They've vengeance coming from it for the first time. I don't think Lab Padge's got a view of it right now, so I don't know. You don't like bringing up SBL on a stream.
Lab's camera's looking the other way.
Ow. I need to get control of this camera. That's a good view how 12 gigabay is compared to megabay. Actually, that's pretty well horizontal by now.
Oh yeah, and talking about Gigabay, I saw BJ mention earlier they look to be there's some of the pillars being put up now, and you can actually start to see how tall the doorways are going to be on the bay.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, on this on some of the beams they're putting in now, it's this level of beam here. Up here you can start to see, yeah, where the top of the door's sort of about this side, I think he's saying.
About there, yeah, you can see the tabs on the pillars for the top of the doorway.
I thought they were on the next pillar up. Like they aren't here yet. In this photo, they're not here. Oh, maybe they're in the other later photos. Hang on. Let me quickly look. We got one of that? No. I think they're a bit far away, yeah. That's the 21st. You can't quite see in there. BJ put some in the script. He goes, and on the Star Factory side, we can see a couple of new pillars. And I'm looking at the 21st photo. I'm looking at the 20th photos. I'm thinking, I can't see it. So I just pinged him in the production service. So can you please show me that reference?
Oh, Yeah, that's another thing I just remembered. We actually had some pretty good footage of the Roberts Road gigabay in the SpaceX Flight 12 webcast of the
We
inside
did.
of the bay.
Yes, we did there was some very good photos. So I don't think, they still haven't got that pillar up yet. See, these tabs are for the next horizontal beam here, but this column that sits here, I think, is the one that's got the tabs for the doorway. I did also notice on Labstream, Vix posted that they're starting to put the overhead gear in for this doorway here, for the back of Gigabay, which is sad. Sad thing. So we won't be able to see.
But I think it's still gonna be quite a while yet though until the actual doors themselves are installed, and even then, I think it'll be a while until they actually start closing them. It wouldn't make much sense to start adding things like that when they still need a lot of access inside of this building for construction.
True. Actually, they do need that for access. That's a good point. Thank you. Yep. Okay, I'm happy again now. Because they've already got some of the... Oh, is there a photo on that angle this week? No. Because, this sort of do. Because they've already got like the hardware and that down here for it. And they look like on the other door they were working up in this area for the overhead gear.
By the way, I put in Patreon Lounge the little edit that BJ did earlier, showing the doorways, the tall ones.
So that's that. Okay, so that's that pillar.
Yeah.
Belongs here.
Yep.
So what is it? 88 meters by 18 meters. Is that what he said?
I will double check quickly.
Because booster's 80 going up to 81 meters from 79 meters, I think.
Yeah, that's what BJ says. It's about 88 meters tall and about 90 meters wide.
So it's going from 70 meters to 81 meters. Is that right? The booster?
Yeah.
Booster used to be 69 meters tall, and they changed it to 70 meters tall because it was always funny, 69, whatever, blah.
Yeah, and talking about boosters getting taller, I still think there's going to be, I reckon V4 will actually end up being slightly shorter, and then V5 will probably end up being the 81 meter tall booster. I reckon that's how things will go in the end.
88 mile an hour. Is that Back to the Future speed, or is it 85 mile an hour? 88 mile an hour.
88.
88.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks. Alright, so now we do have those photos. It's been a minute. So let's have a look. Oh, looks like they've had a bit of rain. A ton of rain.
I don't suppose they got any spare sign letters lying around with this lot, are they? Just asking for a friend.
Probably not. Oh, I can always tease us just a little tiny bit what's in there.
Yeah, I'm so happy I stuck to my guns with the thinking that sign would end up coming off during launch. I just see it coming from a mile away.
Oh, it was a good bit of data anyway. Sort of for future things they want to put near, like the tanks over on the methane side and that it's pretty obvious that you can't hear anything. And that was sort of off to the side a bit, so I don't know whether the wall interacted. You know how we've seen it before where there's been a wall and things behind the wall get damaged because the shockwave kind of curls itself down around behind things sometimes. Don't know whether
I
the wall
won-
actually helped with that interaction or not. I mean, helped destroy the sign.
I wonder with the sign being destroyed at launch and not doing side fire tests, and I wonder if it's anything to do with the booster exhaust plume being aimed more towards the tower base during launch, and then that sort of acting as a divert to shooting the shockwaves straight at the wall. I wonder if that's anything to do with it.
Does it also indicate the static fire wasn't like full throttle? Like they said, like full throttle test, but that might have been they might have only wanted to go to 70% thrust on the static fire, and they did go to 70%. Therefore, for the test, they went to the thrust that they expected for the test. And it wasn't actually full throttle.
I think that, personally, I think it was full throttle. Yeah, I think that was the whole thing.
The marks on the ground from the launch go out more than twice as far as the marks on the ground from the static fire.
I suppose too, the thing that static fire didn't happen too was the plume goes above because actually while it was igniting and taking off through our photos, it wasn't actually the sign was still there, like all the way through. It wasn't until after launch.
Yeah.
So even here with the rocket actually above, the sign is still there. It wasn't until it maybe did its pitch over and the plume actually came out here a bit that it actually got hit. So yeah, that doesn't indicate anything to do with static fire. Now think about it again, thanks.
Yeah, I'm curious if there is actually any alternative they can take to having a sign survive in that area. The only thing I can think of is probably spray painting it on the wall.
Paint it with fluorescent paint, and then they can shoot it with black lights or something.
It's still not out here, so it's still in one piece now even. And the rocket hasn't pitched over quite yet. So maybe in the bloody, it's still, man, that is such a hot zone. That's such a good photo.
You can see what I mean, though. As soon as it starts pitching over a lot more, I think it's going to basically the tower base. It gets diverts things a lot more into that wall.
Would we be on the inverse square law here for distance and acoustic energy? I imagine, maybe. Although that's not necessarily correct. I think when things get this fluid dynamic, some of the rules might even change. A bit like rules change when you get to supersonic and then again when you get to hypersonic. I can't actually notice anything of that lot. Let's have a little look around.
The door was open, which is
yeah,
an impressive thing.
Couldn't see anything in there though.
There's a pallet.
Hey, that's a quick thought about that wall. We don't have to worry so much anymore about the conduit sticking through in the wrong places.
Oh, that upset so many people, including myself. Well, not upset, but it was something I noticed. Our last shot's still not out here yet, so it's still intact. Yeah, out here, yeah. So a question was asked, was that from heat or was it from acid? Because of the interaction with the plume can make the water slightly acidic. It's interesting they filled it up before launch in case maybe they got to a stage where they started the water deluge and then had to abort. They've got water sitting here ready to put straight back in the tanks. So I've been saying, ever since I saw that pipe get put in, I was saying they were going to be filling water from the pond into the tanks. And then people were like, no, 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 no. And now that's what it is. That happens to me a lot. And I
So
don't
it's a really
speak up,
quick way of doing it.
and I don't usually speak up about it, but that one was a really annoying one. Cool. Enough about me. Let's move on. So nice jet airplanes. I think that's that's the scrap lot. I think over there. Yeah, but that's got no. That's like a really old, an old 707 maybe. That's pretty old. I think it's a scrap yard.
I think they do use it for fire testing. I've driven by that where the airport fire department can go out and play on that airplane.
Play it, yeah. Yep.
Train.
Train. Cash wants to say hello to everybody. Don't you, Cash? Morgan does too. Oh, there's Cash. Brown lot, a bit closer. Brown lot. Yeah. So, what was here? Cladding for, what was Alex saying? Cladding for something in here was showing up. I can't remember what he said now at the build site. It might be that stuff over there. What was he saying? I can't remember now.
There is trailers that have what looks like concrete, I'm going to say cladding, that they moved over today for the ASU.
Oh, the ASU, that's right. The curtain wall for the ASU, yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they did with the mega bunker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where. I know I saw him earlier. I cannot, for the life of me, know where I saw that at.
Yeah, I wondered what they were going to do with the walls on that building at the ASU. Makes sense, all this concrete.
They've already put one panel in, I think, even in this photos, I think.
Oh, is that what all those concrete things on the trucks are for in the brown lot?
Yeah. Wherever that is in the brown lot, that's what those are. You can see the cutout.
They're in the parking area. I believe that was in folder 5, I think. No,
Yeah,
they're down in the new parking area. Yep, they would be off to the right more. Nope, to the right. There they are.
Oh, yeah. So, precast.
I see a doorway in one of them there as well, look.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So they're calling it a curtain wall only because they're not load bearing, yeah? Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Cool. My parents built a mud brick home about 20 years ago, and it had a steel framework and the roof up, and then just panels of. It's not, I suppose, panels of wall because mud brick can't be load bearing, can it? It's not strong enough. It's still a good house today. Got amazing insulation. It's like
Mud brick is a pretty common building materials for bearing walls are all around the world in subdeveloped countries.
for load bearing as well. Okay, well in Australia, I don't think you're allowed to do that in Australia.
Yeah, codes are not. Well, actually, there's a U.S. code that lets you build with straw walls, straw and mud walls.
You are
and
correct.
load bearing.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's not in every jurisdiction, but there are lots of them that have that ability.
Correct. It's not a national standard by any means.
Yeah, straw bale homes.
Probably not where earthquakes are prevalent.
Or where lots of rain.
So those straw bale homes where it's basically bales of straw then rendered, yeah, they wouldn't be load bearing. Then there's that rammed earth. I think that's what you're talking about, Phil, that rammed earth walls, is that right? That's got straw in the mud mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mud bricks have straw in the mud mix as well, a little bit, just to give them some fibre.
Yep, old Japanese homes are built that way. They make a little bamboo kind of skeleton for the center of the wall, and then they mix up mud and lime and a bunch of rice hulls and stuff like that, straw, and mortar up the walls. I actually have those in my house.
That are 400 years old.
Yep.
They don't do badly against earthquakes either, do they?
No, they do great, and they're very good as far as like moisture control and stuff like that. Allows the walls to breathe.
But would the earthquake ability have something to do with the somewhat loose foundations, sort of floating foundations?
Yeah, so like my house has a floating foundation basically, so it's all stones on the ground, and then they actually build the house on top of it, so that way when the earthquakes come, it can actually kind of jump around basically instead of shaking and falling down.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the earthquakes we've seen in the Mideast and some of the places over there where walls have come crashing down in recent years that are the mud brick wall type thing. Where was that?
There is quality control in the mud bricks too. I mean, you get real bad mud, you're in trouble.
All of the above. Was that northern Syria that the last big earthquakes? I can't remember now.
Tune in to watch rockets and learn about alternative building methods.
Well, that's been going on for thousands of years, throwing straw and mud and making bricks out of it.
Yeah. So the pebbles under the foundation sort of work like ball bearings, basically. Picking up steel, putting steel on trucks, taking steel off trucks, putting steel up. It's a bit of a process. Oh, we got more photos from around than I thought. Up to the port. The port of Bro. Good old Bro.
We did like 14 flyovers, so.
It felt like 14 and a half, that's for sure.
I was going to say, that was a real flyathon last week.
Heck yeah, it was.
I haven't slept in for one. That was hilarious. I can't believe I did that. I'm getting DMs saying, Steph, are you there? Hello.
Wake up.
I was sound asleep. I was out of it. Okay, J.F. Kennedy, or part thereof.
Certainly lots more than they used to be.
Yeah. They've laid that crane down. I guess they'll sort of strip it all to sort of this level, I guess, to start with. It's getting more and more stable. I wonder if are they able to, I guess they're able to adjust the ballast in a big ship like this with water tanks, maybe? I suppose I wouldn't really bother with this when they do decommissioning it like this. Not sure whether they can or not now, or they need to or not. Bit of an adjustable gangway, I'd guess, that can pivot a bit as the ship moves a little bit.
You got to do that for the tide.
Yeah. Of course, tide, yeah. Being an inlander, I kind of forget about tides. Definitely not part of my day. I still haven't pulled the rudders. Oh, maybe they have started taking some steel up here, actually, around the rudders. Cool. 4 tanks, possibly for the launch site. Not really sure. Okay, over
Do we
here.
have any photos of the top end of the Port of Brownsville? It's one of those docks up there, I think, is where the You'll Find Me Later barges do go, I think. I'm just curious if there was any sort of activity already started there ahead of the barge's arrival. Any sort of hints about what we can expect to come off the barge?
No, it don't give itself that way.
The turning basin and up where they're building that one new dock, it's just to the right of that a little bit.
The other one listed is in front of you, so I don't know which is going to which, though. Or if they're just doing both. Yeah.
Okay. Are these cranes capable of lifting a tank up, are they? Is that what they use these cranes for?
I believe so.
I wonder if they're those sort of cranes that can work in tandem and hook up to each other.
And that's it. It's the BCD. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, there's 2 lists.
BCD. Yeah, I think it's. Oh yeah. I don't know what. I thought it was only one dock.
This is the 15th.
Yeah, right there, that angled one right there, that's where they've unloaded
that's one of them.
the SpaceX stuff.
Yeah, it's Dock 10, so that should be where they go, I would assume. One of the others going there.
And the other one's going...
down the ways, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, right there. No. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so why is there two docks listed on that? Are they...
Well, there's a barge and there's a tug, I assume.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's my guess. I have no idea if that's actually true or not, but...
Electricity. It's electricity, I'm telling you. Because it can be a bit tricky. Well, I say it's a wonderful slave but a horrible master. Electricity. It likes to bite you. Hurts like crazy when it bites you too. It scares the hell out of you.
I mean, I've been bitten by an electric fence in the past, and that wasn't fun.
That's a little different, yeah. It's kind of its own sort of, yeah. Ouch! I get hit with electric fence all the time. It makes me feet leave the ground and slam back into the ground again, and almost knocks me over. But 240 volts is, it's a horrible feeling.
You did the 240 shuffle?
Ugh. Yeah, it's lucky. Very lucky. A couple of times it's very lucky, yeah.
Aren't you supposed to grab somebody else's hand before you touch the electric fence?
Yeah.
Only if you want to do
Karen
it.
is Karen.
You still get a zap.
Not as much. I used to do that as a kid going to school.
Yeah, series, yeah, voltage, yeah, slightly half the voltage, yeah. Same current, yeah, half the voltage, yep. Plus double resistance, so half the current too, actually. That looks like some kind of covering material before they put soil over the top of the electrical runs. It's almost like they're going to make them like, like tunnels. So
I was going to ask, is that those precast things being used there? But it's not, is it? I can't remember what's the names. Those red things.
I don't believe so, because they're not threading them through them. They're sitting them on top by the look of it, I think.
That's a good point. Yeah, what was the name of those again? I've completely forgotten the name now.
Yeah, these things. Where are they?
They're right up next. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. The red chippy things.
It was labeled right on the side of some of them, but I can't see it on any of these. Been too long since we talked about it.
Yes. Got any platforms up here yet? What's going on over here? Is that platform still from last week? Oh, they've had the whole weekend up too, I guess, so maybe not as much as happened this week. Oh, they're in full force. Oh, hang on, what day is this? The 20th. Oh, this is before the weekend, sorry. I like that bit of video footage of that. This is a 101-year-old veteran singing God Bless America. He did a good job. Good on him. He was proud and brave and confident and wasn't like at all timid or anything or shy. He just got up there and did his thing and didn't do a bad job, actually. Cool. Okay, so that's the plants sort of looking as the plant does, getting more and more built. I still haven't seen this water in where is it? Here, not here, at the Rio West. I still haven't actually seen water in the pool yet. I know it's there, I just haven't found the right photo to see it properly. Right, at Astra Schools. Oh, wow, that's looking really finished. So this block, yeah, just a couple more to go. That way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Oh, so next one goes in that way, and then one more to go in that way.
Yeah, there'll be two on the left and one on the right. Yep. Yeah, there's one that'll
one more this way.
Yeah, there's one that'll bookend the one that's already there, and then they'll place another one next to it, and then a third one will bookend it. We've got closer pictures over the weeks that show you the services and the ground that are just waiting.
Yeah. Masses. All the tankers, yeah, wow, there's quite a few of them, eh? Oh, the old Ad Astra. So it's looking rather deserted, isn't it? Never seen many cars here or anything. So is that old school? Is that school as well? That's all part of the same, yeah. That's the old school.
That was the original, and then they built the extra. They did the 3D building, 3D printing about 2 or 3 years after they built the original school.
Yeah, and the old missions command. It looks like it's still got all its infrastructure and everything ready to still be used as a launch command center, but we know that's not a thing anymore.
I mean, there's no reason to, not keep it on as a backup if they ever need it.
Yeah, I was going to you read my mind. I was going to say, mate, I wonder if they've got it actually as a redundant launch center. Actually have people in it just in case.
Or do they maybe use it for Massey's testing, maybe?
Yeah, could do, yeah. Although you'd think, oh no, that was doing that for the static fire at the launch site, weren't they? When they were showing inside the launch command at the build site.
If you're going to remote it all the way to here from Massey's, why not just take it to their new launch center?
Yeah, agreed. What's going on down here? They're clearing a bit of land in here. Are they starting to do something with this block? Not really.
Well, I believe this is all still part of that. What was the name of it? Something Homes.
Oh yeah. Was this where that sign was? Was it here? No, it was over.
Right
there.
there.
It is.
There you go.
So this almost looks operational now. Oh, school buses and everything, yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, they commissioned that quick. I guess we should be a bit careful looking at this from now on then. Maybe we'll have one last look at it and leave it be for now. This looks like a field, doesn't it? Like a football field or a couple of soccer fields maybe.
Well, I thought it might be before, but now I'm not so sure with all of the underground services and stuff. I mean, it could still be, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, go ahead, Avengers.
The tap thing has
lighted fields for night use?
Yeah.
Oh, big flood.
Could be.
That makes sense.
Just with the water lines and stuff like that. That's what I mean. I'm just not sure just yet.
Irrigation, floodlighting.
I was going to say, did they do a similar thing with the football field over in the village? And the, I think, volleyball court at the end of the village, did they do a similar thing there as well? Or was that different?
Not sure.
Well, this said field house as well, so it's going to be a field house along with a sports facility.
Okay, thanks. They're fun to drive. There's one here on the property here. Takes a second to learn to use those backhoes, but it doesn't take too long to learn to use them. Could be gentle, very gentle. Barbecues are us.
I can't wait to see those things active for the first time.
Yeah, I want to see that flamed on.
Now we're back into launch site and stuff from the 20th, so this is all still pre-launch. I guess full stack. Guess the full stack's still there, yep. Let me see. Where else have we got now? No, that's the end of the round outside photos. What are we on to? What time are we up to? Oh, yeah. Wow.
Almost 3 hours.
Nearly. Cool. All right, so if there's no more questions in chat, we'll get the last few questions in. Anybody? I see you chatting in. So how is chat? Everything's going well in chat? I saw there was over 200 earlier. That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen any questions lately, and most of the stuff we kind of talked about in that time. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and that's herringbone type setup. Yeah. Bit like a dairy. They talk about herringbone dairies where you have the aisle down the middle, or say the aisle down the middle, and the cows come in on an angle like this. Anywho. All right, cool. Oh, thanks everybody for joining us today. I'll thank Jake very much. Thanks for your comments, Jake.
Well, you're welcome. It's it's fun to do these kind of things, and hopefully come on for another stream again soon.
Awesome. So You asked for a subject, a list of subjects earlier. Yeah, sometimes we have that, sometimes we don't. Today we really didn't, but anyway, it's all been good. Thank you. And Event Dudes, thank you very much as well.
You're welcome. Just hoping we get some videos from SpaceX. That would be really nice. A couple of them would be really fantastic. And then, of course, I'm still watching all of the sites for any updates, Louisiana or the port or anything else. Should be coming out pretty soon with a couple of those.
Oh, nice. Yep. Who else was in here? We had Alaska and comment as well, and it's always nice to have Phil with some of the technical details of building, so thank you both as well. And
Sure.
of course, okay.
Just hanging out and commenting.
Yeah.
We had Todd too.
Yeah, I'm getting there, Todd. And of course, thanks, Todd.
Oh, well, thanks. I was here late, so I really didn't do much, but it's always a pleasure when I'm here.
And of course, thanks RGV Mauricio for such a massive week of work as well. He worked probably harder than all of us this week to get all the photos into us and the amazing in-flight images. That was a pretty awesome week, but Mauricio, thanks for that. And of course, thanks to where are you? Oh yeah, Matt, for pushing the knobs and turning the dials, the buttons, whatever, and I'll get you to sign up. So I'm Stephanie B, Aussie Space Girl on YouTube. So thank you very much for joining us today and the continued support. And this is an awesome little stream. So I'll see you. I won't see you on the weekend. I'm going away for the weekend, so I won't be back till probably next week's Xpanded show, actually, but the next time you'll see me online. So adios for the week.
All right, and over to that little guy, Matt. Oh, Matt's his name, right? Yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate all the support and everything that you guys put in throughout the week. It was very well appreciated and really helped us to be able to do those 3 flyovers. So thank you guys so much. You are the blood that keeps us going. So our next show coming up, well, we have our edited video that's coming out on Thursday, I believe. And then our next flyover is confirmed for Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. And then we'll have our weekly show the day after. And that's going to be with Zach again this week. So look forward to that, guys. So until then, love, peace, and chopstick rail grease.